it didn't even do the fade out. Stupid software. Okay, well, I'll get rid of the banner so you can actually see our lovely faces. Hello, wildcards. We've got a jam-packed 2 hours for you tonight. In this hour, we are talking with the lovely Maria from Goblin Society Games to talk about Helbine, which is an exciting, super awesome sci-fi themed Ace licensee product. And so we're going to get the deep dish on all the goodness that has to give. And then in an hour from now, after a brief break, we're going to do the final hour for the live stream for the Sci-Fi Companion, which the Kickstarter is going amazingly. I think we just crossed $300,000 and over 3,100 backers, which is amazing. So thank you, folks, for that. And but we're going to talk about Helbine first, and let me get rid of the annoying banner. The JM is a little under the weather today, so it would have been his lovely face for this hour. But you get me for 2 hours, so buckle up, folks. So Maria, welcome to the show. It is very exciting to have you here. Tell us, because this is a big sci-fi celebration all month long for our Ace licensees and swag folks. What is Helbine?
So Helbine is our first Savage Worlds publication from Goblin Society Games. It is a delicious, gritty sci-fi in the same vein as touchstones like Cowboy Bebop and Firefly, a little bit of Treasure Planet, a little bit of Cyberpunk, all those kind of
okay, you can stop talking now. I'm sold. I am just sold.
Oh, good, great.
You just mentioned like 4 of my favorite things ever.
Oh, awesome! If you like The Expanse, there's just a little flavors of that in there too.
So are you married? Can we get married? I mean, I'm gay, but I can change because
listen.
You're saying all the things I need to hear right now. Like, I mean, The Expanse, Cowboy Bebop. Oh my God, Fifth Element. Any Fifth Element? Because that's the only one you really haven't said.
So that's the only one I haven't seen.
Oh, okay.
So that
there's growth.
Yes, growth is possible. Correct.
Okay, so now we have to have a watch party. Fifth Element, Lilu Dallas Multipass watch party.
Let's go.
Is this pretty amazing? Oh my God! See, right? Christian Serrano's into us. I mean, we have to pay. Maybe we have to pay licensing fees if we have an official watch party. But maybe there's other ways where like we could just find it on streaming service and be like, hey, everybody, start your thing now, and we'll all sit and talk about
go.
It.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, it came about. The setting book came about because of a short-term streamed actual play that I did. Good God, years ago in 2019, 2018, something like that. And I breached the topic to some friends about, hey, everybody, who'd be interested in playing a game based on Treasure Planet? And I got 1,000 responses of yes, please. And so I said to myself, okay, I want to play in a system that I haven't seen around a lot at the time, which is Savage Worlds, the first system that I learned to play TTRPG-wise. So I wanted to play in Savage Worlds to show that off. And I said, I'm not going to do anything easy. So I completely made an entire planet and city and social structure for, a 6-episode the show with the help of James, another co-founder of Goblin Society Games, and also my partner. And the show came and went. It kind of percolated for a bit, and then once we really got GSG under our wings and we wanted a new big project, I said, hey, so what about sci-fi though? Hey, so what about this thing, my baby, my project? And James was the spearhead creative director on it as far as writing. And we had an incredible artist, Adelfear on Tumblr, who did every single piece of art in the book. And it's stunning. It's all stunning. And it's my favorite thing in the entire world now. And I'm only slightly biased because it's also mine.
Oh, that's so good. So, so you said it was your first Savage Worlds creation. Have you guys have you published for other system settings before? Like, give us the resume and other things folks can throw money at you for.
Sure. So this is not only our first Savage Worlds piece, but it's also a first setting book. We have up until this point done a lot of supplemental things, mostly focused on D&D 5th edition, because that's what we played a lot of. So our flagship book is Mercraig's Compendium of Curios, which is 300 unique magic item books for 5th edition, all of which come with their own unique art, ranging from common to legendary and everything in between. And we've done a couple of things based off of that. We've done some condition cards for legally distinct OGL type games that you can definitely use for things such as Pathfinder. And we're working currently on, we did one original game IP called the Kobold Grinder, which is kind of a blend between TTRPG and board game based off of a one-shot that we did a while ago. And it's kind of evolved into its own strange, amorphous conglomeration of a thing. But we're trying to make things that we're really interested in, and that includes board games as well as TTRPG settings and supplements and the like. So this is our first setting book, and we were just literally just talking about it before hopping on here, that it's really something that I want to like really hone in on, is expanding on Helbine, expanding on the universe, because right now it is a planet with 6 moons. And so there's plenty of space around to, this space holds so many mysteries and planets and could be anything. Oh, those are the molds. Those are the sweet, sweet babies. Oh my goodness. I could talk about this forever. So in Helbine, there are a handful of factions, as with many settings, that are warring against each other. You have the Interstellar Coalition, which is a mashing of a kind of religious sect and hyper science mushed together. So they are in charge of a lot of cybernetics and the idea of through unification, or the process of unification, aka turning a little bit more into a cyborg, you can be, if everybody was unified, then there would be no conflict, which is, of course, not the case. But it's their ideal that they charter full forward into the future. There's the Quarton Corporation, which is the mega corp. They are in charge of building anything that shoots and anything that flies, and also happen to kind of regulate the only fuel source production in the planetary system nearby. And there's the Phantom Marauders, which are basically space pirates and spies.
And we determined yesterday with Shane, or Tuesday with Shane, like space pirates and space cowboys are the must-haves. Like
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And then there's a secret 4th faction that's not super active, but is absolutely everywhere, which is the Mold, which are a sentient symbiotic plant life that can combine and morph itself into different forms and functions depending on what it needs. If you think kind of like
I liken the sound of that.
Yeah, kind of like there's in the Stargate TV series, Stargate SG-1, there were the replicators. It's kind of in that vein, where all of these little bits of mold and stuff can just kind of break down and form into something giant or something teeny tiny, depending on what they need. So the mold is literally everywhere. There's also a bunch of secrets about the mold, where it come from, where it go, what it doing, all of that sort of stuff.
Cotton Eye mold.
Exactly.
Nice.
Cotton Eye mold, exactly.
Sweet.
And then there's, and that's just the main planet and the giant super city, Banda City. The giant city is where all of these factions kind of exist primarily. And then you've got 6 moons on top of that, where all sorts of shenanigans can happen. Each of those 6 moons has a day and night cycle weather pattern and has its own events that can happen there based on when you go there, what time of day you go there, who happens to be which faction happens to have the most pull in those places and on those moons. So a lot of things that people who are running games or people who want to like explore, we've given you a large sandbox for it being one planet and 6 moons. Go and dance around. And there's also a one shot at the end. If you really want to like dip your toes into Helbine, we got a one shot.
Gone fishing.
It's a simple fishing trip. You just gotta go get some fish. What could possibly go
Nothing
wrong?
Could go wrong. No, yeah, the beer is warm is the worst thing that can happen. That's right.
Exactly.
The man. So this sounds fantastic. Taking a step back as a game designer, why did you pick Savage Worlds as the system that you wanted to bring this kind of amazing, flourishing idea to life in?
I was the one who was pretty adamant about Savage Worlds, but it was not a hard sell. So Savage Worlds,
hard sci-fi, but not hard sell. There we go.
Correct. Yeah. So Savage Worlds was the, like I mentioned before, the first TTRPG that I was introduced to. And that was back in 2010 by James, ironically, before we had even started dating. He introduced me to the concept of playing TTRPGs through Savage Worlds, through like a little homebrew-ish type game that was steampunk themed. And I, having no concept of TTRPGs at the time, really fell in love with how Savage Worlds sets up character creation to really feel like you're making important and impactful decisions for your character when you make them, like edges and hindrances and all the intricacies of the different ancestries and things of that nature. So I really wanted to I wanted to make something that wasn't D&D or wasn't just like a D&D hack. Even though D&D sells, it sells, it does. But I wanted to do something different because I wanted to introduce people to a system that meant a lot to me, was easy to pick up and learn, and there's a lot of like simplicity, but also there's a lot you can do with Savage Worlds in like you're not super bogged down by like a lot of, super in-depth complex rules and how-tos and all of these things. The simple concept of if you get a 4, you basically succeed, and if you get above a 4, you succeed really, really well, is so nice and so easy and comforting for somebody who's running the game to know that you don't have to keep 1,025 rules in your head. Having the core concept of like, just succeed. And if you succeed really well, you can succeed really, really well and do extra stuff. It's really nice to expand on that. But
yeah, I definitely miss like exploding dice and jokers when I'm playing other systems.
Yeah.
Let alone bennies. It's just like I just feel naked without them. Like I have to accept every roll. No.
Exactly. Well, and exploding dice is so exciting from a player's perspective and so devastating if you are a player and you're going up against people who are rolling too well. But it makes you feel so lucky and powerful when you're able to just get basically a 24 on a D4. That's wild and has happened before. But
what other system makes rolling a D4 exciting, right?
Right?
Like, it's only a D4, but they explode
exactly
85% of the time.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, how many systems let you actually use the fated D12 to its full potential? This is one of them. So like exploring all of that, but then also putting it in a setting that is fun and exciting and adventurous with mystery, and it isn't like dark. It's not, it's not dour and like, the end of the world apocalyptic or anything. It's just a little like, little dirt under the fingernails, a little rust on the bumpers, a little tough, a little less pretty than like Star Trek or, things like that. A little more down to earth, so to speak, except as far from Earth as you can be because it's a fictional universe.
So I definitely want to go show your Drive Through RPG page because I think it's a
Yeah.
really great exemplar of a very well done Drive Through RPG page. And but I guess if you guys have any questions about Helbine, chat, there's a bunch of you in the chat, like almost 50 of you guys. So like awesome, thank you.
Hey.
Thanks for showing the. Let's go, Steve. So, but while I'm taking the mental time to go over and figure out sharing the correct screen, so you don't see all the behind the scenes stuff and just see the good stuff.
Behind the curtain,
right? Any questions for me? But like, I'm pretty excited. I'm very impressed that you guys have bitten off a very large chunk of world building and publishing on this project. I mean, it's not easy to do both on kind of what do you call it? Freshman excursion.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and on top of that, not to make our lives even more challenging, we decided, you know what would be nice to have? A luxury item. So we made our own action decks as well. So you can get they're just standard playing cards, the suits and everything, but you can get it in tarot size or playing card size. They're identical with the art, but all of them feature art from inside the book. So you can see like the different, it's a little bit washed out because I have lights everywhere, but from the different planets to our jokers, which are the mold. It's this little guy. It's kind of hard to see, but like this is one of the planets, which is a little swamp planet. It's just and it's just so satisfying to hold, but then it keeps it kind of in universe feeling when you can just be like, all right, and now we're gonna go and you're gonna get, oh hey, you have, that's very washed out, but you have the Jack, or you have the other Joker, which is a tall gangly guy. But yeah, it's I was really adamant about showcasing our art everywhere and anywhere, because not only do you get a cool deck of cards you can use literally for anything that you play, because it's just a standard deck of cards, but it's just, they're just neat. They're just neat. And also tarot size cards just feel really nice. They're nice. They're pretty.
Yeah, they're nice. You see them across the table easier. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, these would be really good for bringing to like conventions if you happen to run Helbine at any conventions that you're at. Excuse me. These are really, like you said, really easy to kind of tell. Oh, you have the king over there, or you have, whatever, 3 of something, etc., etc. So those are also things you can purchase. They're available.
There it is. So yeah, so guys, check out this page, because you definitely have a designer's eye, because not only really great cover, no one will miss this is Helbine, and it's very cool and spacey, so you definitely saw the theme. But look at this description section, folks. Like, really nice title headers, really good bulleted lists, some nice layouts from the book. You can
100% blame James for that. He spent so long on making it like so attractive looking. I mean, that's another little mold down there on the bottom. We like to call them our little puppies or our little sausages. They can technically they can be whatever length you, the person who's running this game, want them to be. They can be tiny, or they can be, like 12 feet long. It's up to you. It's only your imagination can hold you back.
I mean, it's got spikes, so I don't know if I want to pet it, but if they're soft spikes, maybe it's nice. But
they're not. Okay. I can get, but I mean, you can dream as they're, lovingly embracing you with their terrible. I can read you. Here's the description, because those are called the hounds in the book, right next to our lovely giant thing called the horror, which is all mouth. The description of the hound is: hounds look like a moldy sausage on centipede-like legs and covered in mismatched, jagged spines. Roughly waist-high on the average human, these little monsters look ridiculous even as they swarm in to gore intruders or fling spines from a distance. They look silly, but they kind of look like there's a creature in the game Hollow Knight, which is a delightful indie platformer game that scuttles about very silly like, and if you flip it upside down it scuttles in an awkwardly different way. These things are kind of the same. You can flip them around in whatever direction and they'll still run forward or backwards, or they'll strafe side to side, kind of like an IKEA shopping cart. They just got too many legs. They've got so many legs.
So there's very specific, like for the eventual movie of this setting, there's very specific notes to the movement of these to make them like, extra creepy.
Here's real life examples. Now do this, but make it absolutely just messed up. IKEA shopping cart, but worse.
That's the best part about sci-fi, right? You can get away with whatever you want, really.
Yeah, exactly.
But the I just want to show off your actual book. The inside. So I love your logo, a little goblin with like the monocle and the top hat, like its choice. You. But I really like that you guys went through and it feels very sci-fi in the presentation. Like I really enjoy the fact that you guys did like icons for each of the chapters that you guys put in here. It's like it's a nice mix of like Star Trek simplicity and kind of vectory lines, kind of, and just very readable layout. So
there's one thing that I was also pretty adamant on. Each of the pages, I think if you scroll down to the next one, you can see it. Yeah. So each of the sections is actually highlighted when you get to that section. It's not here because you're in the first section, but as you go down, like here, this is the section about the mold. And so that is actually flagged on the side of the page.
Oh, yeah.
So we took a note actually from Pathfinder 2nd edition, who does a similar type of thing in their core handbooks. To try to make finding different sections easier. So when you're trying to flip through and learn more about the Interstellar Coalition, which is the section that you're on here, you're like, I know that there's like, I want to get the leader stats because they're about to go talk to Tatum Wynn, who's the leader of the Interstellar Coalition, but I don't remember, I want to find it real quick. You can just flip so you get to that yellow section and then it's less pages you have to find through. So.
And this is really clever. I really like this as a design choice. So you've got like two different types of commandos, but they're on the same stat block, just with one of them with the extras in blue for the bodyguards, and then the red for the agents. So so the bodyguards are toughness 14, the agents are toughness 10. But otherwise the same. Like that's super clever. I really like that kind of condensing. You didn't have to double up on the things or figure out what's the difference between the two. Smart choices on that.
Yeah. That was again a choice that James made in an effort to make it like easier on the GM side to quickly put together enemies or combatants. And another really cool thing that James also implemented in this as well is as the player characters level up and get more seasoned, the world changes too. So each of the factions also has level up abilities. If you actually scroll back up right before the planet right here, these couple pages, these are actually advancements for specifically the Interstellar Coalition enemy units or the Interstellar Coalition in and of itself. So you can actually pick as the PCs level up. You get to actually, as a GM, pick ways in which the different factions also get to level up. So it's showcasing how the world is changing as the PCs are, running around and messing with everyone's things and not stopping, because why would they stop? It's fun. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to make messes and face consequences and all of that stuff. But and this is for all four of the factions, even the mold has advancement options as well.
Oh, that is excellent. I mean, and that I like that for. I mean, it really is campaign minded. Like, hey guys, this game changes with you, grows with you. It's very subtle and elegant world building too, just on kind of the choices you make on how you're setting those up and how those advance and like the timelines, and that's really good stuff. Really good stuff. This is a very generous preview too. Like a lot of people do like 3 or 4 pages, and you guys have over 20 pages, like 36 pages on this one.
I think the book itself, I think, is just over 150 pages or so. But yeah, we wanted you to really get an idea of like, hey, this is this is what you're getting into. Eat up, enjoy. And that's the map of Banda City, which is it's just a giant like megaopolis on Helbine, the main planet. Helbine itself is pretty barren, all things considered, except for this giant city. And this is kind of the faction layout of who kind of controls what, roughly. There's always little gray areas in who actually controls things. But most of you have the Corton Corporation in the bottom right, Interstellar Coalition kind of in the top left. And then the Phantom Marauders kind of own this nebulous section in the center called the Track, which isn't really, it's not really mapped out per se, but everybody kind of knows about it. It's kind of like the secret, like underground society thing. And it's also a giant racetrack that is, again, not marked, but everybody kind of has to know. You have to know where it is in order to not, die when you're racing on the track.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I mean, fantastically fleshed out setting, very impressive. What's coming up? What's well, actually before then, like let me give you all the links again because I think people are sold now. Like right, like the
heck yeah,
right. Alan is stealing your ideas.
100. Please, if you like the idea, please take it, make it your own. We would love nothing more. Like that we want to inspire people to make cool things, just like we make cool things. So if you see something you like, go for it.
Oh no, so good. Right, and Val says the action deck. I mean, that's pretty ambitious for first time publishers to go through and get. I mean, the problem with doing an action deck as a first time publisher is you need art for all those cards. That's a lot of pieces of art to assemble. So no, that's great stuff. So let me put up the links again for folks. So follow Goblin Society Games. Here is the website for that. That is you must follow them because they're doing great things. And the on drive-through, like very reasonable price for this book. Like the PDF is under $12, $11.95 currently, and you can get the soft cover for $20, like just under $25, like $24.95, and then you can get the PDF and the soft cover for the amazing price of just $29.95. So that's pretty good pricing for. Especially to support guys and gals who are doing new stuff and breaking into the industry, right? Like, I mean, that's, I'm very impressed with you guys. I mean, I wish I would have, if JM didn't hand this off to me, I would have downloaded your little trailer here, and so people could.
Oh, yeah. We have we are currently, so this is the teaser, I think, for the book. We are also currently in the process of editing an actual play that we recorded for in the setting. So we don't have a specific time when that's going to be released, but that it's going to be, it's an even more claws in deep look into the intricacies of just some just nasty schmucks who got put together and now have to work together and deal with all of this nasty space stuff and figure each other out as they figure out this weird world that they're on. It's really neat. But yeah, we'll definitely be announcing it on both our website and our socials as soon as the first couple episodes are out.
Oh, that is so good. So good.
Yeah.
So what's next for Helbine? And then the follow-up question to that is what's next for Goblin Society Games? Any other projects that you want to hint at? Anything at all, Savage Worlds or otherwise related? Like what's on the forecast for you guys?
Yeah. So as of right now, we're doing a lot of brainstorming for things that we can do to expand on the Helbine universe, essentially, because we are waiting with bated breath for the new sci-fi companion to come out. We didn't want to get too in the weeds until we knew, what cool things were changing and updating and all those things. Which, as I see here, there's 87 minutes left on that Kickstarter. So if you weren't there, you should do it. But we were actually looking through the Kickstarter and getting excited and inspired by some of the things that we're seeing on there. Like the, what was it? The customizable and pre-made armor and ships and that kind of stuff, because we started playing with that in Helbine a little bit, because we wanted to make sure that Helbine could stand on its own with just the core rulebook. So this isn't reliant on having the original sci-fi companion, and we want to make sure that it's able to be used with the new sci-fi companion as well. So we're really excited to see what's coming out of the new compendium. So my hope is that we can get a campaign put together in like a full campaign book in Helbine, as well as maybe adding a couple extra moons or like stations, or, a little extra things, maybe some just stat blocks, new mold monsters, things of that nature, just kind of building on what we already have. As for what we are working on right now, we're actually working on a couple of board/card games that are completely different from Savage Worlds or any TTRPGs. We are in the weeds of making a kind of referee style, very fun party game called Sella Sword is our working title for it, where you play as a group. One person is an adventurer, the rest are shopkeepers, and you have random tables for everybody where the adventurer gets to roll and see what kind of role they're trying to fill, and the shopkeepers have a pool in which they have to then try to construct an item out of their random tables that will best benefit this adventurer. And I can guarantee you most of them are very, very, very silly. So we are currently working on getting that into it's in the playtest phase, a very, very heavy playtest phase for that. And then we have another board game project that we're working on called Trow, which is Through the River and Over the Woods, which is a cooperative, fast-paced card game of you as adventurers trying to deliver this cart to its final destination while being thoroughly accosted by a bunch of monsters, but very fast-paced, witty, cooperative, kind of like Castle Panic, if you've ever played that board game. That's kind of a touchstone for us. But and then just kind of little bits and pieces floating around in and amongst all of our brain cells, trying to find their way out. But yeah, any new stuff we're working on. We also have a Discord that I believe is linked on our socials as well as in our website, that we talk a lot about things we're working on. Hear back from the community about stuff that they're working on. So if that's something you're interested in, let us know. We'll get you in.
Of course, I muted, so I've got like a fire alarm going off and everything's going chaos in the rest of the house. I'm really excited for all the wonderful things you guys are up and coming from you, because Helbine looks amazing. Congratulations on that. Obviously there's a message from the Savage Worlds community saying more sci-fi, please. So we're glad that you guys got there first, and now that you'll have the sci-fi companion updated in hand, I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. So
I'm so excited.
Very excited.
I'm excited to be obsessed with it all over again.
Right? Yeah, all of us. So for everybody else, we are going to at the top of the hour in about 20 minutes. You can join us on the same channels you're watching now, Twitch TV/Pej Inc. If you're on YouTube, there's a YouTube link in the YouTube comments. If you're on Facebook, there's a Facebook link in the Facebook comments. We're going to do a live stream with a bunch of folks from Pinnacle for the final hour of the campaign and talk about what's coming up next for Pinnacle as well. So I'm going to go get ready for that stream, and we'll let you guys go. But Maria, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great. I mean, again, Helbine is pretty fantastic.
I agree.
First time out the door, and but super excited. So thank you so much for joining us on Savage Universe. And folks, we'll see the rest of you at the top of the hour to celebrate the science fiction companion closing. But other than that, we will see you momentarily, guys. Cheers, everybody. Get out there and play some Savage Worlds.
Do it.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much.